Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Humna and I am in love with this book, The Inner Life by Hazrat Inayat. I started reading it a few months back, and as I was reading, I really felt like it's something that needs to be heard by many more people to touch their hearts and be able to connect to what the message in this book is. And it's very peaceful listening to it, so I thought I'll share it with you all through my channel. And we've reached the third chapter. The first chapter was the preparation for the journey. The second one was the object of the journey. And the third one is fulfillment of the obligations of human life. The position of the person living the inner life becomes like that of a grown-up person living among many children. At the same time, outwardly there seems no such difference as is apparent in the ages of the children and the grown person. The difference lies in the size of his outlook, which is not always apparent. One who lives the inner life becomes much older than those around him, and yet outwardly he is the same as every other person. Therefore, the man who has arrived at the fullness of the inner life adopts quite a different policy from the one who is just beginning to tread that path, and also a different one from that of the man who knows intellectually something about the inner life, but who does not really live it. The action again is different in the world, for the latter will criticize others who do not know what he thinks he knows, and will look upon them with pride and conceit or with contempt, thinking that they have not risen to the mystery, to the height to which he has risen, and which he understands. He wishes to disconnect himself from people, saying that they are backward in their evolution and that he cannot go with them. He says, I am more advanced, I cannot join them in anything, they are different. I am different. He laughs at the petty ideas of those who surround him and looks upon them as human beings with whom he must not associate, with whom he must not join in all the things they do, because he is much more advanced than they are. But for the one who comes to the fullness of their inner life, it is a great joy to mingle with his fellow men, just as it is for parents to play with their little children. The best moments of their lives are when they feel as a child with their children and when they can join in their play. Parents who are kind and loving, if a child brings them a doll's cup, will pretend that they are drinking tea and that they are enjoying it. They do not let the child think that they are superior or that this is something in which they must not join. They play with the child and they are happy with it because the happiness of the children is theirs also. That is the action of the man who lives the inner life. And it is for this reason that he agrees and harmonizes with people of all grades of evolution, whatever be their ideas, their thoughts, their belief, or their faith, in whatever form they worship or show their religious enthusiasm. He does not say, I am much more advanced than you are, and to join you would be going backwards. The one who has gone so forward can never go backwards, but by joining them, he takes them along with him onward. If he went on alone, he would consider that he avoided his duty towards his fellow men, which he should perform. It is the empty pitcher that makes a noise when you knock upon it, but the pitcher which is full of water does not make any sound. It is silent, speechless. So the wise live among all the people of this world, and they are not happy. The one who loves all is not unhappy. Unhappy is he who looks with contempt at the world, who hates human beings and thinks he is superior to them. The one who loves The one who loves them thinks only that they are going through the same process that he has gone through. It is from the darkness that he has come into the light. It is just a difference of moments, and he with great patience passes those moments while his fellow men are still in darkness, not making them know that they are in darkness, not letting them feel hurt about it, not looking upon them with contempt, only thinking that for every soul there is childhood, there is youth and maturity. So it is natural for every human being to go through this process. I have seen with my own two eyes, who have attained saintlessness and who have reached great perfection. And yet, such a soul would stand before the idol of stone with a fellow man and worship, not letting him know that he was in any way more advanced than other men, keeping himself in a humble guise, not making any pretense that he had gone further in his spiritual evolution. The further such souls go, the more humble they become. The greater the mystery they have realized, the less they speak about it. You would scarcely believe it if I were to tell you that during 4 years of presence of my Murshid, hardly more than once or twice did I have a conversation on spiritual matters. Usually the conversation was on worldly things, like everybody else. Nobody would perceive that there was a God-realized man who was always absorbed in God. His conversation was like that of every person. He spoke on everything belonging to this world, never a spiritual conversation, nor any special show of piety or spirituality. And yet, his atmosphere, the voice of his soul, his presence revealed all that was hidden in his heart. Those who are God realized and those who have touched wisdom speak very little of the subject. It is those who do not know who try to discuss it, not because they know, but because they themselves have doubts. When there is knowledge, there is satisfaction. There is no tendency towards dispute. When one disputes, it is because there is something not satisfied. There is nothing in this world, weak or rank, position, power, or learning, that can give such a conceit as the slightest little amount of spiritual knowledge. And once a person has that conceit, then he cannot take further steps. He is nailed down to that place where he stands, because the very idea of spiritual realization is selflessness. Man has either to realize himself as something or as nothing. In this realization of nothingness, there is spirituality. If one has any little knowledge of the inner laws of nature and is proud of it, or if one has any sense of thinking, how good I am, how kind I am, how generous, how well-mannered, how influential, how attractive, the slightest idea of anything of this kind coming into the mind closes the door which lead into the spiritual world. It is such an easy path to tread and yet so difficult. Pride is so natural to a human being. Man may deny a virtue 1,000 times in words, but he cannot help admitting it with his feelings, for the ego itself is pride. Pride is the ego man cannot live without. In order to attain to spiritual knowledge, in order to become conscious of the inner life, one does not need to learn very much, because here he has to know what he already knows. Only he has to discover it himself. For his understanding of spiritual knowledge, he does not need the knowledge of anything except himself. He acquires the knowledge of the self, which is himself, so near and yet so far. Another thing the lover of God shows is the same tendency as the human lover shows. He does not talk about his love to anybody. He cannot talk about it. Man cannot say how much he loved his beloved. No words can express it, and besides, he does not feel like talking about it to anybody. Even if he could, in the presence of beloved, he would close his lips. How then could the lover of God make a profession, I love God? The true lover of God keeps his love silently hidden in his heart, like a seed sown in the ground. And if the seedling grows, it grows in his action towards his fellow men. He cannot act except with kindness. He cannot feel anything but forgiveness. Every movement he makes, everything he does, speaks his love, but not his lips. This shows that in the inner life, the greatest principle that one should observe is to be unassuming, quiet, without any show of wisdom, without any manifestation of learning, without any desire to let anyone know how far one has advanced, not even letting oneself know how far one has gone. The task to be accomplished is the entire forgetting of oneself and harmonizing with one's fellow men, acting in agreement with all, meeting everyone on his own plane, speaking to everyone in his own tongue, answering the laughter of one's friends with a smile and the pain of another with tears, standing by one's friend in their joy and their sorrow, whatever be one's own grade of evolution. If a man through his life became like an angel, he would accomplish very little. The accomplishment which is more desirable for a man is to fulfill the obligations of human life. The obligations of human life. The way I see and hear what he's trying to say is that we need to not think of ourselves as better or worse than other people, for that makes us feel divided in our own selves. That person, this person, they, them, it, and all that sort of stuff. When we understand our own emotions fully, when we understand our own journey, our own existence, our creator, we automatically know that all and everyone is created by it. And so the acceptance that we have for ourselves actually extends into the relationships that we have. And so we need to be very careful that we have to treat everybody with respect, with love, with kindness, with compassion. And that can only happen, we can only pour all of these things out to other people when we have that for ourselves. And when you have all of that for yourself, the kindness, compassion, respect, then that is what you will pour to other people. For in every person you see the creativity of God. The story that a person is living is the story that is being written by the Creator himself. And the Creator makes no mistake. And so all the stories, all the people, everything they do, they don't do, is all written by the Creator. And so it's okay to have the connection with your Creator and show that in your actions, but you don't need to only be speaking about that connection, but rather acknowledging that. I think when you speak about God, 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 and Creator, 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 you make others feel uncomfortable because they might not be at the same level as you. And so you have to be very humble in the way you portray your connection with your Creator to others. And also when you always try to show that you are better and you're there to help and guide others, then what you're truly doing is you're pulling them lower than you, so then you don't learn from them. But when you sit amongst people of all kinds, all races, or all phases of evolution, you learn so much more if you actually allow them to teach you, rather than you portraying that you know it all, you have an amazing connection, you are this and you are that. And so you don't learn anything because you're so full of your own knowledge and your own understanding of what the creator is. But when you talk about life, when you talk about experiences, when you talk about the journey a person has had, that in itself teaches you so many things about how the creator is writing their story, and their story, them, become an inspiration, and also a way that you see God in them. And through their journey, you are furthermore, you feel furthermore connected to your creator, because you know that the journey that they are living is written by the creator. And so it's such a beautiful, profound way of being humble and being kind to everybody. And I hope this helps. I'm not help, sorry. I hope this inspires you and makes you realize that just because somebody is not at your wavelength, you can't be friends or you can't be in their company. Be in their company as long as it's a reciprocated relationship, as long as you're getting something out of it, as long as you are respected. And if that's what's happening, then grow together, hold each other's hands. There's no need to compete with each other, because we weren't created to compete with each other. We were created to inspire each other to worship and feel connected to the Creator Himself. I'm sending you lots of light and love and peace, everyone. Enjoy yourselves. And if you're enjoying this book, do let me know in the comment section. Connect with me if you're willing to have, if you need to have any kind of one-to-one sessions to heal your soul, connect with your mind and heart, and align yourself with your purpose, you're most welcome to reach me through my social media. All the details are given below in the description box. I love you all. Take care, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.